A factory assembly line stops, and everyone on the floor knows immediately. The silence is the alarm. When GitHub Actions goes down, your code keeps getting pushed, your team keeps opening pull requests, and nothing breaks visibly. Until it does. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what happens to your deployment pipeline during a CI/CD outage, how to spot it fast, and the specific changes you can make today to stop an infrastructure failure from becoming a production disaster. You need a GitHub account with at least one repository that has Actions enabled. Some steps touch YAML config files. If you've never edited one, don't worry, every line gets explained. Step 1. Know where to look first. When something feels off, build's not triggering, deployment's frozen, your first stop is github.com status. This is GitHub's official status page. It shows real-time health for every service, including Actions specifically. Bookmark it now, not during an incident. If Actions shows degraded performance or incident, that's your answer. You're not broken. The infrastructure is. Step 2. Understand what actually fails during a GitHub Actions outage. Actions is the compute layer that runs your continuous integration workflows, the automated steps that build, test, and deploy your code every time someone pushes a change. When it goes down, those workflows queue or drop entirely. Your code still lives in the repo. Your deployments just stop moving. Knowing this distinction matters because the fix is different depending on which layer broke. Step 3. Add a fallback notification to your workflow. Open your workflow YAML file. It's in the .github workflows folder in your repo. Add a step that sends a Slack or email alert if the workflow fails to complete. Using GitHub's built-in if condition, you write if : failure, open paren, close paren. This fires only when something upstream breaks. Now your team gets notified instead of discovering the silence hours later. And if you want real, usable tech skills like this, Stack Future covers one every day. Step 4. Document a manual deployment runbook. A runbook is just a written procedure. What commands to run, in what order to deploy without the pipeline. Store it in your repo's docs folder. When Actions is down, this is what keeps your team moving. It sounds low tech. It saves releases. Step 5. Evaluate a secondary CI/CD provider. Tools like Circle CI, GitLab CI, or BuildKite can mirror your pipeline. You don't have to switch, just know the option exists and keep your workflow logic portable. If your entire continuous integration process only runs inside GitHub, you have a single point of failure by design. Mistake 1. Assuming silence means success. Workflows that never triggered don't show as failed, they just don't appear. If you're only monitoring for red build indicators, a queued or dropped workflow looks clean. Add a check that alerts when an expected workflow hasn't run within a defined time window. Most teams miss this entirely. Mistake 2. Treating the status page as the whole picture. GitHub's status page reflects what GitHub knows and chooses to surface. During partial outages, individual runners, the machines that execute your jobs, can fail before the page updates. Cross-reference with your own workflow history. If runs stopped at a specific time and the status page shows green, trust your logs. Mistake 3. Writing a runbook once and never testing it. Manual deployment steps go stale fast. Dependencies change, environment variables rotate, access permissions shift. Run a fire drill quarterly. Actually execute the runbook in a staging environment. A runbook nobody has tested is documentation for a process that probably no longer works. You now know how to read a CI/CD outage for what it actually is, where to check first, and 3 concrete things. Failure alerts, a manual runbook, and a secondary provider option that turn a helpless situation into a manageable one. The natural next layer here is understanding deployment environments and rollback strategies, which is where outage response goes from reactive to truly controlled. CI/CD infrastructure failure isn't rare, it's scheduled eventually. The teams that handle it without panic aren't smarter, they just prepared before it happened. Bookmark the GitHub status page, write the runbook, test it once. That's the whole job. Next video, hardware backdoors found inside CPUs, what was actually discovered, how it works at the silicon level, and what it means for you. If this one saved you some future pain, a like helps more people find it before they need it.